storm. And 500,000 people here. Be cautious, be protected.
What advice would you give to those who are traveling right now on the roadways headed north, maybe out of state, or maybe headed west to Tampa, Naples, Bonita?
I would say if you haven't made the decision that you're going to leave the county and go somewhere else, it's probably too late. You need to get somewhere safe and be there. Shelters are still open.
Drop like a rock. Much drier air is going to move in. It'll be breezy and it'll be much more comfortable as we head into the weekend. All right, so here's your 7-day forecast now, where the weekend is always in view. Worst of the conditions this evening, tonight, and tomorrow morning. Improving conditions by later tomorrow. Saturday, a leftover shower or two, but much drier air moving in, and it's going to be almost like fall. Not quite.
This is just the beginning of what's to come. We can tell you here in Indian River County, there's going to be another media update coming up at 8 o'clock tonight. We'll be getting a little bit better assessment.
More intense. The rain getting more intense. And the wind, even though they aren't sustained winds, every now and again you are getting a very impressive gust. It's like, whoa, where the heck did that come from? As you're seeing right now, the palms being blown around. Now, emergency services came off Barrier Island a long time ago. And they told us, if anyone gets into an emergency situation out there, it has got to be really dire, and they are not letting anyone across the bridge. So this is not to be taken lightly.
Coconuts have been cut down, so we don't have those to worry about. That's a good thing, but we are going to be seeing more of the vegetation coming down. We see the waves crashing against the seawall here. So we've, as Jeff Berdelli,
the core of the storm, we've been talking about this. If you just track this straight up, it looks like it's going to be just offshore of the Vero Beach area, as you can see. So hopefully it will stay just offshore. Notice these little rotations. There's a little rotation that's actually moving into the Vero Beach area. Michael Ehrenberg, keep an eye on the rotation on radar just to the east of the Vero Beach area for us. And if you see anything that's ominous, then we can switch the radar over. For right now, let's just talk about what we have on the radar right now. Look at this intense band that's moving in. This is what Chuck Weber was in. Barely he was in it. The meat and potatoes of it is just about to move on shore. Let's zoom in a little bit closer to the ground here. As you can see, very heavy rain, West Palm Beach, Lake Clark shores. Moving into Lake Worth right now. You've gotten a little bit of a break in Boynton Beach. That's about to end in about 2 minutes from now. As this out, I'm going to go through all the locations as we go into the different weathers. I'm not going to hit every local location in each individual weather. In the next one, I'll have some other different locations. For this one, we're going to focus on Martin County. Now, squalls increasing, gusts over 50 miles an hour. Later part of the evening, so in a couple of hours, wind gusts 60 plus, and then hurricane force winds are possible here from 11 p.m. through around 6 a.m. Hope Sound, Port St Lucie, and Stewart. We'll leave you with this. Obviously, it's too dangerous to be outside taking pictures, but if you take it from inside, you can send us pictures by going to verse.com/CBS12 or sending pictures to newstips@cbs12.com, and also download the free CBS 12 weather app. You can get alerts, lightning alerts when lightning is in your location. We're constantly recording videos. When this hurricane is long gone, we're still going to be recording videos constantly to update you when big thunderstorms are moving towards your location. That's it for now. I'll be back in a few minutes.
All right, Jeff, thank you very much. Those strong outer bands that Jeff was talking about are really beginning to hit our area in full force.
CBS 12's Michael Butchner is in downtown Stewart, where it has been getting progressively worse throughout the night. Michael, what are you seeing now?
Yeah, Liz, we're underneath the Roosevelt Bridge. You think you'd come here and find some refuge from this storm, but as you can tell, it's absolutely anything but that. This storm is just blowing in here as hard as you could believe. I'm standing here. I'm a large person. I weigh more than 200 pounds, and this storm is pushing me. These winds are blowing me around. We're standing out here. You can hear the wind. It's very intense. The water also is very high. The concern, of course, of this surge and what it could mean. High tide doesn't come until early tomorrow morning. So just imagine when that tide comes rushing in along with that surge. Where I'm standing right now, we probably will not be able to stand because of the water that will fill this area and most likely flood this area. On top of that, I can tell you guys that we've seen a lot of transformers exploding. The sky is lighting up in that greenish, almost purplish color. I could tell you about 5 minutes ago, off in the distance over there, we saw a couple of them go off. Obviously, when that happens, people are losing power, but for the most part, driving around, most people seem to have the power on, which is, of course, a very good thing. Of course, this area where we're standing right now, there are lights on, and when you look across the other side of the St. Lucie River, you can see in the distance, I don't know if you can, it's very dark, but there are lights on out there. And that, of course, is a good thing and means that these people have power. But the big concern, of course, not only this wind, but what this storm surge will bring when this storm gets a lot closer here. This river has been turned into an ocean. As my colleague Chuck Weber was reporting from Phil Foster Park, he's experiencing the same thing. So not only are you dealing with these strong winds, but these waterways have been turned into oceans. You can see them blowing along the rocks. The wind, though, is just able to travel through. If you take a look at the trees over there, I mean, you could tell the trees everywhere are just continuing to take a beating out here as Mathew just enforces its fury on this area. And if you think about what's occurred in the last few hours, it's gotten significantly worse from maybe just 2 hours ago. The impact of this storm is definitely being felt in this area. Liz and John, let me send it back to you guys.
All right, Michael, thank you so much. We just want to remind everyone that we are streaming live on our Facebook page. I just pulled it up on my phone, so I know it's working, and I have it on my computer here. So in case you can't use the TV or you lose power, you can always still continue to watch us on your mobile devices.
And as you mentioned earlier, if you lose power at your house, you're not sure if you can charge up your mobile device. If your car is parked in your garage, and you can open your garage door even a little bit to make sure the county government leaders and law enforcement officials have his cell phone. They can call him anytime. He also urged people to avoid the beach, not to go in the water for obvious reasons, and for people further north, like Brevard County, to take immediate measures to evacuate if possible, and only do so when you are safe. On the Treasure Coast, they are told they could probably still do it for maybe another 20 minutes, and even then, you're kind of
This
pushing
is kind of the cutoff point now at this point.
All right, we're also monitoring our roads and highways tonight as well.
CBS 12's Andrea Marvin hitting the road right now. She's currently at Delray Beach. Andrea, what are you seeing there?
Liz, John, we're on Atlantic Avenue. As you can see in front of me, police are blocking the bridge that goes to Delray Beach. As you know, they don't want residents or people going that direction, so they are actively blocking this out and keeping people safe. We can also tell you that there are some down branches on the roadways. You might be able to see to the left of us, some palm tree branches have fallen. Other than that, things are just very quiet here. We've been getting these strong spurts of rain, but as you can see, things have kind of died down right now. But usually this is a very happening place. I mean, this is where a lot of well-known restaurants and bars are, and it's just very strange to just see nobody out here. As you can see, stores on both our right and left are shuttered up, so very quiet. Water is starting to slowly pool on the streets, but at this point, the rain's kind of been on and off, and nobody is really out here. But of course, we'll be continuing to give you updates as we drive around, but for now, I'll send it back to you.
All right, Andrea, thank you very much. And of course, a curfew is in place in Delray Beach.
County government leaders and law enforcement officials have his cell phone. They can call him anytime. He also urged people to avoid the beach, not to go in the water for obvious reasons, and for people further north, like Brevard County, to take immediate measures to evacuate if possible, and only do so when you are safe. On the Treasure Coast, they are told they could probably still do it for maybe another 20 minutes, and even then, you're kind of
This
pushing
is kind of the cutoff point now at this point.
All right, we're also monitoring our roads and highways tonight as well.
CBS 12's Andrea Marvin hitting the road right now. She's currently at Delray Beach. Andrea, what are you seeing there?
Liz, John, we're on Atlantic Avenue. As you can see in front of me, police are blocking the bridge that goes to Delray Beach. As you know, they don't want residents or people going that direction, so they are actively blocking this out and keeping people safe. We can also tell you that there are some down branches on the roadways. You might be able to see to the left of us, some palm tree branches have fallen. Other than that, things are just very quiet here. We've been getting these strong spurts of rain, but as you can see, things have kind of died down right now. But usually this is a very happening place. I mean, this is where a lot of well-known restaurants and bars are, and it's just very strange to just see nobody out here. As you can see, stores on both our right and left are shuttered up, so very quiet. Water is starting to slowly pool on the streets, but at this point, you know, the rain's kind of been on and off, and nobody is really out here. But of course, we'll be continuing to give you updates as we drive around, but for now, I'll send it back to you.
All right, Andrea, thank you very much. And of course, a curfew is in place in Delray Beach.
Your impact's not as bad as at the coast. Right now, you're getting squalls with gusts over 40 miles an hour. During the late evening hours, we're talking about between now and 10 and 11 at midnight, you'll get squalls with some gusts over 50 miles an hour. But we're not expecting hurricane force wind gusts in Okeechobee County. That's good news for you. You'll have tropical storm winds, probably gusting as high as 50, maybe 60 now through about 8 o'clock in the morning with a few isolated tornadoes. Another question for you coming in from Liz, and she says, I heard Delray and Boynton aren't getting winds stronger than 60 miles an hour. Well, Liz, we'll take a look at our wind gust forecast map through 11 o'clock. Winds, I don't think it's going to be 83 in Boynton Beach, but I think winds could be gusting between 50 and 60 down there, maybe up to 70. So at hurricane force or mostly below it, just some isolated wind gusts to hurricane force in southern sections of Palm Beach County. 4 o'clock in the morning, winds still gusting into the 50s, 60s, and maybe the 70s. So as far as no more than 60, that's not entirely true. There could be gusts a little bit higher than that. Another question coming in from Cheryl. What about the cone in St. Lucie? It's pretty wet and windy here. Well, Cheryl, we'll take a look at our forecast track map and the closest approach. You notice there's the cone. You are in the cone of possibilities here, but you don't really want to pay attention to the cone because even if you're outside the cone, like those of us in Palm Beach County, we can still expect hurricane force winds. And for those of you in St. Lucie County, with you only being 35 miles from the storm track, this is what you can expect. Right now, you're getting squalls with increasing gusts now over 50 miles an hour. Okay, late evening, there'll be some persistent squalls with gusts up to 60 plus. And then hurricane force winds are probable between midnight and through 8 o'clock in the morning. We'll talk about cities of Port St Lucie, those of you in Jensen Beach, Fort Peirce, and areas out further towards the west. And by the way, on your WPEC weather app, you haven't downloaded yet, please do. We've got video zip code casts of storm information, how when the storms are going to come in, how long they're going to last, significant weather advisories. I've got hurricane updates out there whenever you
and I asked them, do you have body bags? Are you prepared for mass casualties? Because if people do not leave, and we get 140-mile-an-hour wind gusts in some of our mobile home places, we are going to have fatalities. So that's what's going to happen.
You can find a complete list of shelters for every county and a list of all the evacuation zones at CBS12.com. It is as serious as it gets. Listen to local officials, prepare, take care of each other.
Hillary Clinton's camp is urging Floridians to get more time to vote. She wants the voter registration deadline extended. Right now, Tuesday is the last day for new voters to sign up ahead of the November 8th election. About 50,000 people registered during the final 5 days in the 2012 presidential election. Florida Governor Rick Scott rebuffing that notion, saying he will not extend the deadline. He told reporters today he does not expect to make changes, saying people had time to register. According to CNN, some experts now believe the Democratic Party could sue if Florida officials do not extend that deadline.
All right. You are the man of the hour. Everyone is waiting to hear what you have to say and show us those maps. Where's that storm?
Yeah, so we have a lot to talk about. The storm is located not too far off our coast, but just far enough so that it's a little further east.
Come down in many parts of our area, Michael, including right here at our station.
That's right. CBS 12 John Evanson is right outside the station in Mangonia Park. And what are you feeling right now, John?
I'm experiencing a whole new thing here. My first hurricane, we were seeing transformers, big blue, what I thought at first was lightning, big blue, things blowing up in the distance. The last one was really close, and it took our lights out here. We were really well lit moments ago, but that light back there went off immediately after a blue transformer blew directly behind the fence there. So it looks like the light is trying to come back on there. I'm not sure if that's the generator or just the power coming on. But you see the trees behind them, those palm trees back there aren't moving right now, but just 2 or 3 minutes ago, and I'm sure 2 or 3 minutes from now, they were swaying back and forth like I've never seen palm trees sway before. And I was talking to John Mathew.
Pretty good wind reports coming in from so that's through the gardens, and there's a second one just off the coast It's going about 35, 40 miles an hour too. So it's one after another, and as the storm gets a little bit closer, well, we know it would raise northern Palm Beach County. Look at the returns just off West Palm. So they pack some punch, and that's what brings the power outages. It's not this 35, 40 mile an hour sustained wind. It's the wind gusts that kind of chip away at the infrastructure, if you will. You get a little bit of a compromised, power structure, and then suddenly you have power in a certain area, and also structural damage to roofs and buildings and fences and all that sort of thing.
Well said, still taking the share of punches. Of course, footprints on the treasure coast, maybe more than that. We'll be with you throughout the night, of course. Keep an eye out. Thank you, gentlemen. And of course, we'll go back to our weather center team immediately to see anything.
Yeah, we'll jump right in and let you know if we see anything, we get any warnings or anything like that.
We do have some pictures that are coming in tonight from the Riverside Cafe. I know, Steve, we were talking about this earlier tonight. Up in Vero Beach, Indian River County emergency officials are telling us that the back of the restaurant by the docks is underwater. Darcy Jackson visited Riverside Cafe a little bit earlier.
Yeah, here in Vero Beach, we're starting to first see these outer bands of the storm come in. We're looking at winds at almost 50 to 60 miles per hour. And here at the Riverside Cafe, you can see the first signs.
Full force for 12 hours shift. All of our manpower is out there. We know the neighborhoods where people have evacuated. We're paying special attention there, without a doubt. And you're completely right. We need to get to places that we need to get to. But still, the roads are
we're definitely going to be watching closely as this thing really picks up.
Yeah, we are.
East. Wind picking up in parts of the viewing area. Of course, John Shaman now, what it is like outside of the Emergency Operations Center in St. Lucie County.
We wanted to give you a sense of the conditions outside the Emergency Operations Center in St. Lucie County. We're about 12 to 15 miles west of downtown Fort Peirce. Now, not long ago, meteorologist James Whelan said there was a 59-mile-an-hour wind gust at the St. Lucie Nuclear Power Plant. We have not seen wind like that here, but things definitely have started picking up in the last hour. Coming up at 11 o'clock, St. Lucie County officials will provide us an update, and if I could hold on to my hat, we'll be sure to bring you that information on air and online. We're in St. Lucie County. John Shaman, WPTV, News Channel 5.
All right, John, thank you very much.
Well, for many who the roads, there's obviously been plenty of rain, and Steve just showed us there is more to come for southern Palm Beach County, and they are committed, they say, to keeping you safe. So check them out on Facebook and their Facebook Live as well.
Something Sheriff Bradshaw said, he said, listen, all of our people, his people, and of course, any first responders, we have our families at home.
That's
and
right.
that when everybody's going home to get settled and take shelter, these first responders out there doing
12-hour shifts, exactly.
Alpha Bravo shifts that they do, yeah.
All right, our weather experts back in.
Yeah, and we're watching some of the wind reports coming in along the coastline now, starting in the Treasure Coast. So we can just go to Viper for a second. I want to show you.
It's closed, but the pumps out here are open for people to...
We continue to talk about deteriorating conditions in Vero Beach. Is no exception. The winds are about 35 miles per hour out here, and the rain is torrential, almost going sideways. You can see the winds in these trees right now. They're blowing, and we've got the first signs of debris out here. We're seeing basketball goals flipped over, lots of branches. Now, more than 2,800 people are in Red Cross shelters tonight. They'll stay there until the coast is officially clear, and that may not happen until 9 a.m. tomorrow. That's when the most of the heaviest winds are expected to hit here. We haven't seen many
hunkering down like they should be right now as conditions continue to deteriorate. We've still got a few more hours before we get to the height of this thing.
This still could be very close to the outer part of Brevard County, and it doesn't take much of a wobble to the west. That's why we're going to be manning this all night and adjusting the forecast as we go. But very close. It still may not officially make landfall. And then it gets way back down over here. What is it doing?
It's driving you nuts is what it's doing.
Like a big horseshoe. And so this will continue to be an issue for us for quite some time. And you can see the radar
We've got double radars here, but you can see here along the coast, the center of the storm right now. And Brian, it looks like we may start to go through an eye wall replacement cycle. Yeah. I'm starting to see the inner eye wall starting to weaken a little bit and the outer eye wall starting to constrict a little bit.
Yeah, and with that, we need to see how it kind of, as that happens, the position does change a little bit as the new eye kind of collapses in and finds itself. And again, the brunt of the weather's just now moving into southern Brevard County. It's only going to get worse there.
I mean, it's just getting very, very close here. And so this is all the bad stuff. That's what's going to keep moving on in, and we'll get more of these heavy rain bands that will keep advancing on shore. And so the flood threat remains also very high for freshwater flooding and also for some storms.
Latest numbers as the power is going out. We anticipate those to be greater, so make certain while you do have power that your cell phones are charged. And also, this is important too, Martha, push notifications. If you have our app on your phone, enable
sustained wind pick up more and more over the last several minutes. We're still seeing the wind, the trees blowing, not seeing any debris flying anywhere. Let's take a look, Tom, at those campaign signs. I'm so surprised that those campaign signs are still they're still up. I don't know if we can see it that well, but they're still standing there. So the wind is still blowing, but nothing is flying in the air. The only thing I've been seeing are leaves and stems. And I've been keeping a close eye on our WFTV weather app. Tom, take a look at this. This is where I am, that little dot.
You was a police car behind you, but other than that, it's pretty quiet.
Yeah, and I have seen some other vehicles, some civilian vehicles on the road since then. Probably about maybe 6 or 7 or so since I last checked in. People obviously are not listening to the mandatory curfew and are still out here driving. Not sure why they might be out on the road. It's pretty quiet out here now. It's not raining, at least at this point. But we have noticed within the past 10 minutes, the winds have picked up. I'm not sure if you can, I'll step out of the way. You can see those traffic lights there moving a little bit, and that's probably the easiest way to show you the winds.
That will not be able to risk staying at home and losing electricity through this storm, so they're being taken care of in this special needs shelter. Right now, I'm told there's about 81 clients in that shelter. They do have a capacity for 175 people, but in addition to those 81 people, they have caregivers with them, family members with them.
But for now, this is still a major hurricane.
Yeah, and as
Brian,
we've been, chatting with some of our colleagues on social media. Matt Lanza was pointing out that over the last 2 hours, it's been about 10 miles closer to the coastline. So again, when these huge systems, they shake around quite a bit, and that's what we're going to watch out for, just how close. This is going to be very close, especially to the Cape. Here's a look on the left-hand side of your screen. That's Sarah, correct me if I'm wrong, that's Daytona Beach. I just have a little trouble seeing in the dark there. But again, conditions are only going to get worse along the coast. Martha, Greg?
It looks like, as I look at that eye there, guys, I want to...
Those are tropical storm reports. So in those communities just off the coast, and these are just south of Brevard County, in those neighborhoods, we're seeing actually tropical storm force winds around 40 miles per hour, and the gusts are about 60 miles per hour. So we're still a good distance from the center of the storm, and as it tracks closer to Cape Canaveral by morning, that storm will actually be closer to land, our viewing area land, in other words, Brevard County. So the winds here are going to pick up, and it's already very squally here in Brevard County. Melbourne, Palm Bay, we have areas of rain, very heavy rain at times, and then we have this batch of rain here.
Eye there, guys, I want to pop back to you in just a second, but it looks like, and again, we don't have any official news of that, but it looks like from the direction of that, again, the forecast is still for it to stay off the coast and not to have the eye broach us. So that is the good news here. I want to underline how important that is, yet with good news, there also is a major storm that is just off our coast.
Yeah, it's sitting right there, George. I mean, it's right along our coast. A lot of lightning in it, so that inner core, again, very intense.
Yeah, and Greg, if you look at this, you see that circle of red, the wide circle of red surrounded by the semicircle. Those are the two or the double eye walls. And then on the left side, you see those square icons that are popping up near Fort Peirce, Sebastian, and Palm City?
Yep.
Those are tropical storm reports. So in those communities, just off the coast, and these are just south of Brevard County, in those neighborhoods, we're seeing actually tropical storm force winds around 40 miles per hour, and the gusts are about 60 miles.
Come on here, big whoosh, as that wind picked up, and Lucy trees around. Also, take a look right here, you can see kind of the peripheral of what's happening with the
wind. That stop sign was just a short time ago flopping around from the wind. You know, it usually takes a little arm strength to kind of move it around. You can see it right there. Also, the trees moving around as well. And take a look at this light here. You can see the rain that's coming down right now, and it's been coming in that sideways motion that we've been telling you about throughout the evening and yesterday as well. That sideways motion, that rain is coming down, and as I said, in waves coming down and kind of hitting you kind of hard as you're out here. And it's because of the wind. We just got this update a short time ago from Volusia County that the bridges from the mainland to the beach side are closed tonight. They're now closed because of that wind picking up and what they've been seeing, that wind view out here. So once again, the bridges from the mainland to the beach side are now closed right now, but the westbound lanes from the beach side to the mainland are now open still. So that people that if you do need to get out right now, you still can do so. You may remember earlier we were talking with Sheriff Johnson here in Volusia County. He was kind of upset that a lot of people in that beachside area are refusing to evacuate. He says you still have time to do so even now. Right now the rain's not coming down too bad. The wind is picking up though, but there is still time before that big part of the storm hits Volusia County, and that's what folks here are waiting for right now. They say this is hunker down time. I was just talking to them a little while ago. They're getting some shut-eye right now because they know we're a little ways off before that big moment when Volusia County really gets hit from Hurricane Mathew.
So we're out here in downtown Orlando. So far, not too much going on right now. Maybe about 10 minutes ago, we had some light rain, some gusts of wind. Behind me, the trees were swaying right now. Not too much going on with that. So weather right now is okay. We do want to point out, though, that we are by the 408. We have heard some drivers on the road. We do want to remind people that there is that curfew in place in Orange County, a mandatory curfew. We have seen several cars, and clearly, by the looks of it, they are not following that curfew. That went on between
landfall in terms of the stronger part of the storm is not far off our coast right now.
We want to go live right now to Samantha Manning, who is in Daytona Beach with more. How is it there?
Martha, the rain just started to pick up again in the last 10 minutes, and the wind is still going strong, so it's been bringing in that rain, hitting us sideways as we've been seeing throughout the night. Now, it's dark out, but to give you an idea of just how strong the rain and the wind is where we're standing, you can take a look and see the trees blowing over there and the wind blowing by just in front of it. We pan over to my right here. You can see there's a roof over there, and the rain has been pouring down on it, sliding off. So again, you're looking at the intense wind and rain that we're seeing out here in Daytona Beach. Now, in the last 20 minutes, we were driving along the streets, not seeing many cars on the roads, not seeing people out here. That's because that mandatory curfew is now in effect in Volusia County. Went into effect at midnight tonight.
And of rain right there. Again, this will be tracking just south of Brevard County. So if I take the track off there, and you take a look, you can see the northern branches of this ring right here. And so we're going to have to watch areas. Just want to give you a heads up here. If you're watching us from Florida Beach, Barefoot Bay, Mico, you have a squall coming in that's going to be very strong. Yeah, serious wind in that, and that's probably going to take a little bit more than an hour pushing to far southeastern Brevard County, just north of Sebastian.
Yeah, so we're getting conditions in Brevard County going down. Same with Volusia. We're going to be tracking this carefully. We're going to join you back again with another update. We're going to get some new information from the Hurricane Center and the hurricane hunters in this. And we'll be right back to you. For now, here in Brevard County, Roy Ramos, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
All right, Roy, thank you so much. Checking the situation out in the Brevard County EOC. They're fully operational because, again, the storm is headed right to Brevard County.
Let's check in now from Brevard County. Let's go to the Orange County Emergency Operations Center. That's where we join Channel 9's Lauren Seabrook. What's the latest from there, Lauren? Well, guys, first I want to tell you that just probably about 5 minutes ago, the winds rose. That number does not include some of their there. They have about 50 people set up around computers. They're monitoring the situation. They're speaking with personnel all around Orange County. They're also in communication with people in Orlando to find out what the conditions are like out there. As soon as any damage reports come in, they will immediately find out about that, and that's why we're planted here. We will find out as soon as any of that information comes in, and we will bring
what's going on, but unfortunately sometimes sustained winds forecasted for Orlando, 30 miles and around 50 miles an hour in Ocala and some of those other areas.
And there's a new update coming radio network, and the new trackers. The last one we have had, and as again...
Intercoastal or if it's raining. Right now we've got a good combination of both, and it's coming down pretty slow.
Here on News Radio 102.5 WFLA, we'll have more on Operation Stormwatch, round-the-clock coverage of Hurricane Mathew. Please give us a call if you are experiencing any type of power outages at 407-916-5400. We'll be back with more here on News Radio 102.5 WFLA. Our 2016 iHeartRadio Music Festival is now music history. 20 of the biggest artists in the world. Stage, T-Mobile Arena. Now experience the festival on television and get an exclusive look backstage. Two-part CW broadcast special. Watch our iHeartRadio Music Festival tonight at 8 p.m. on CW18.
My name is Tom Thornton.
And my name is Cindy Thornton. We've been married 38 years. We're retired, and this is how we live united.
We play golf and we travel, but we also decided we were going to give to and volunteer with United Way at our community free health clinic.
I do the nursing at the clinic.
I work the front office, checking in patients, greeting them, making them feel comfortable.
contribute because we know our time and money are going to the right places, the places that need it most and implement it best.
Judging by the thank yous we get at the clinic, I'd say we're doing the right thing with our retirement too.
We even did a few pledge years.
We're Tom and Cindy Thornton. We volunteer at our community free health clinic, so we don't just wear the shirt.
We live it.
Give, advocate, volunteer, Live United. Go to liveunited.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Head Council. Spend an evening with the most stirring and powerful blend of rock and classical music ever heard. Trans-Siberian Orchestra's Ghosts of Christmas Eve.
I'm back. You got all this electricity trying to shoot these rocks. My range, my dishwasher, my air handling unit, my refrigerator, and when power do come back, I will bring those back online, like one at a time. I get minutes in between. That, the system is activate to the load.
Well, I appreciate that. Now, is it rain where you are, or is it just there. Hopefully you'll get that power back on for you shortly. And thank you so much for calling.
Say there's a good chance Hurricane Mathew may break the seas just off Florida coast and route back for an unusual return visit to South Florida. But part two may be more insult than injury because by that point the storm is likely to be substantially weakened. More than 95,000 people are without power in Florida as Mathew bears down the state. A Florida Power and Light spokesperson says more than 2 million customers could be without electricity as a result of the storm. Some areas likely to endure extended outages. Wind is the biggest threat to the power grid since it often knocks down trees and branches onto power lines. Some coastal cities are already reporting winds of 60 to 70 miles per hour. Forecasters have warned of hurricane-force winds as well as heavy rain and flooding from the storm. The death toll in Haiti from Mathew is soaring. Haiti's Civil Protection Force says at least 283 people have died as a result of the massive storm that pummeled that country. I'm Alan McBride. On the Florida News Network.
Florida has over 2,000 miles of shoreline, over 4,000 square miles of lakes, and over 11,000 miles of rivers, streams, and waterways. Which means no matter how big your boat, how bright your life jacket, how loud you shout, finding you in the case of an emergency is going to be really difficult, unless you have an emergency locator beacon. Odds are you'll never need it, but the odds for you are tremendously better if you ever do.
Learn more about emergency locator beacons at myfwc.com. Brought to you by the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation. Orlando is the Villages. So go see my friends at a Good Feet store and receive your free, no obligation, personalized fitting and test walk. I think it's at near Target. Online, goodfeet.com/Orlando. That's goodfeet.com/Orlando. Tell them about changing lives 2 feet at a time.
In the beginning, especially during summer months, it can seem like a sunburn that lingers or won't go away. But over time, the facial redness becomes...